welcome in. This is game number 10 in the Steam Backlog Challenge. It's called The Fall. This game, obviously you can maybe tell by the graphics quality. It's an indie game. This is done in the style of a platformer. So it's side-scrolling, and it's a little bit of a puzzle game, but there's some action combat as well. So, kind of interesting. I didn't really know what to expect with this. I thought this was going to be more like a click adventure, and I was in kind of a surprise. Also, the theme is a little dark. I mean, it's like dystopian. You might be able to tell just by the sort of graphic theme. It's a little dystopian. You essentially play a robot that is almost like a mech suit. Is the best way to describe it. It's more of a mech suit, and the mech suit is piloted by a human. You crash land on this planet, and you have to maneuver the suit through the obstacles that you kind of lay out in front of you. Yeah, it was there were some challenges in this game, like in terms of getting the value out of it, liking it, and there were some things like kind of the theme with most puzzle games. It's good to have a guide when you need it, just simply because like the mechanics of the game or like the hints to the puzzles aren't always obvious, right? The first puzzle is you're kind of stuck in this corridor down in a cavern, and there's these elevator shafts, and you have to find your way back up. Well, the first thing you're supposed to acquire is your sidearm. Apparently your sidearm is damaged. You need to replace it. You eventually find another one of these mech suits, kind of like strung up, and the mech suit, because it's a robot, right? It's got an AI. You interact with it. It tells you, hey, my sidearm was taken by some creature. So you have to go find this creature. And it is not obvious how you find the creature. What you ultimately have to do, and spoiler warning, I guess, is you have to go back and find the first elevator shaft, which essentially like has a hole underneath it. When you walk over there, you do see the creature run down there, but you're not quite sure how to get down there. And you have to like start the elevator and then jump off the elevator so that you can get underneath the elevator, right? You know what I mean? Like you just don't think that kind of thing is possible. So it's a weird kind of, you have to think outside the box type scenario. And if you don't reach for the guide, you're probably going to be goofing around with that for, I don't know, 20 minutes or something before you go, oh, duh, right? And that's like the first puzzle in the game. They don't get incrementally like worse or like more difficult, but I would say that that's just kind of setting the pace, right? All the puzzles sort of work like that. It's not immediately obvious, so having the guide to consult is really handy. I have 4 criteria that I'm grading the games on. This is not a grade on overall greatness of a game, but rather on how much value it had to me, personally, in this challenge. Number 1 is the sound. How was the sound quality? Is it nice to listen to? Were there good voice actors? Was the ambiance good? Were the sound effects, not annoying? Was there good music? Number 2, objective or story. Was this engaging? Did I feel something? Was I intrigued about the point of it all? Number 3, fun. How fun was this? Was this enjoyable, or was the game just a major hurdle to my enjoyment? Number 4, replay value. If I completed a playthrough, is it worth revisiting? And if I didn't, is it worth doing a full playthrough of? I didn't add graphics to this list because I didn't think it would be fair in this challenge, as some games have lower quality or style, and I didn't think it would be a fair comparison in terms of grading value of the purchase. And those are my 4 criteria for grading games in the Steam Backlog Challenge. And getting into the first one, we want to talk about the fall, and we want to talk about sound and sound effects, background music, and ambiance. I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5. Was pretty good. You can tell by this clip.
Return to dock. I will be formatted. These events will be erased from my memory logs.
Is that your choice too?
Irrelevant. I will do anything to keep Josephs alive. You did. Whatever you did, you kept yourself operating.
That I did. It's hard to know how far to push the rules sometimes before they, break.
The rules are not meant to be pushed.
That the voice acting is really good. That the, kind of the tonal quality that they achieved, i.e. the sound editing, is pretty good. You're getting some robot tones that are different from the mech in the room versus the computer voice. And then we're also getting some really good ambiance in the mix there too. The background music is the thing that detracts for me. It's just kind of a lot of extra creepy, screeching metal industrial stuff going on. And I didn't get that this game was a horror game, yet the background music was sort of horror forward. I don't know, maybe like spooky, but not as spooky as they made it. So I don't know, that detracted from the game for me. Moving on, story. The story in the game, really intriguing. I didn't have, believe it or not, I was doing the playthrough, I guess my sound driver was bonked out, and so I didn't even have the voice acting. So I just kind of read through most of the gameplay, and I was still intrigued. I didn't even have the voice acting in it. It still pulled me in. And the twist at the end, I actually didn't see coming. They did a pretty good job of burying the lead there. I don't think there was too much foreshadowing or a giveaway of what actually happens in the end. So yeah, the story was pretty good. So I'm actually gonna give it a 4 out of 5, just because it was decent. It was decent, but what's the best way to put this? I guess there were some elements that I just didn't care for. And there were some things that weren't 100% explained, though I do know that there is a chapter 2 to this game, so maybe, but in chapter 1 I'm still going, what was the point of that? For example, the antagonist, I was a little confused by the antagonist. There was a purpose for the antagonist that seemed like it was a bit counter to ours, and they were very much in our way. But why were they the way they were? They seemed have gone rogue in some fashion themselves. but none of that really gets unveiled. So I would say it's pretty good, but it was at least missing one element, and that was like the explanation for the antagonist. Like, sure, you know, the protagonist gets presented and you're like, oh, okay, I have to take care of the protagonist or the antagonist, sorry. And you're like working through that. But I don't know that we get a full explanation of what happened and all that. So yeah, for me, 4 out of 5 on the story. Moving on. Fun. Was this fun? Yeah, I did have fun with it, but honestly, I'm gonna go 3 out of 5. The controls in the game were a little clunky. So there's times when you have to move between, like you have 2 modes of a flashlight, or like you're aiming your look, right? You right click to look, and you get a flashlight, and then you get a laser sight. And when you're using your flashlight, you're looking and identifying things and trying to find clues. And then when your laser sight is on, obviously you're in combat, right? You mean to use your gun. This was really, like, you can accidentally have your flashlight on in battle. That was kind of like, ugh, you know? And then there were things that, like, you have to, like, crouch. It's a cover combat style. And so you have to, like, crouch, and you can crouch too long and then go into like a hide, you know, like a stealth mode kind of thing. Yeah, it was kind of sticky. It was just kind of sticky. Like, the combat was weird, and I don't know. I feel like when you were in a combat encounter, it should have just switched to like a combat mode. But yeah, and like, I didn't even find an instance of, you know, using the flashlight inside of combat. Like, you couldn't trigger a sequence to happen while there was combat to, like, you know, do trap damage or something like that. So it kind of detracted from the fun for me. And then, like, you know, I alluded to earlier, some of the puzzles, like, man, I don't know. You probably could get there, but I don't think it was obvious, or there were enough clues in some instances on how to get there. Some of them were a little off the wall, and executing was a little off the wall too. Like, you might have the idea, like, oh, okay, I need to, for example, there's a fish boss or a fish trap or something later, and you have to bait the fish out. And, you know, you see that coming if you're doing the job of, like, walking around and reading all the prompts and stuff. You see that there are these aquariums with these fishes in them, and that they're broken, and there's flooding everywhere. So, like, okay, 2 and 2, hey, fish is out, it's in the water, oh no. Well, you obviously know you're gonna have to deal with them, but you learn that the fish can chew through steel, and it even says, oh, I can't tangle with the fish, it's gonna bite through my armor, right? So you have to find a way to get it out. And what's interesting is, in the same room you discover the fish thing, you find out about fireflies and that they're attracted to something inside of a machine. And you're like, oh, okay, well, clearly I got to get the fireflies attracted and then lure the fish out. But then it's like, getting there, it's not very obvious until you find this other item, which is so easily missable. There's just things like that all in this game. And so 3 out of 5, it was a little frustrating to get through. I didn't have that much fun. Finally, replay. I didn't get all of the achievements. There's only 17. I think I got 9, I believe. Yeah, something like that. But I didn't get a lot of them. I remember when I was looking through the guide, they also had an achievement list, and some of the achievements were kind of random. It was just like, oh, did you try that thing during that one particular moment? Okay, yeah, I guess, right? I didn't think to do that, kind of stuff like that. And that was all over, that seemed like the bulk of the other half of the achievements. The game's quick enough, like if you know all of the steps, the replay of it, I would say you could go back and replay it. Is it desirable enough to go back and replay? If I was an achievement hound, I would say yes. As an achievement hound, this would be one of those games that I could go back and replay just for the achievements. I would get, 2 or 3 playthroughs out of this. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5 because it's like I'm not motivated to absolutely pick it back up again. And I could say that, like, if I were different, if I was an achievement hunter and that was my sole purpose, I would absolutely, come back and try again. Well, okay. That's going to do it for the fall. This was game number 10 in the Steam Backlog Challenge. And we got 9 out of 17 achievements, like I said. And you can see here, we really only played for 3.7 hours. So this was kind of a short game. And like I'm saying, for replayability, if you are an achievement hunter, you could come back and do this. You could, now that you've played through the story, you know what's going to happen and all that, you know what to do. You could come back and sit through this and play through it again. I mean, it's not going to take you 3.7 hours to do each run. It might take you, I would say optimistically, like 2 hours, right, for each run. So you could probably play this for a full 7 to 8 hours to get all of the achievements. And there's guides on the community hub for you to do that. I think I used this exact guide. We went ahead, we categorized it, it's off our list, and this is done. We've already uninstalled it. So this is it for the fall. I want to quickly talk about what we spent on the game. What's really interesting is we bought this game around the same time that we bought The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. We paid for this game $2.19. I don't remember if this was as part of a bundle. Like if this, I don't think it's a developer bundle, different developers. We did get obviously this massive discount. Yeah, not totally sure, but we purchased this on 2019, right? November 30th. This whole packet here for like $18. So did we get $2 of value out of the game? Yeah, I would say we at least got $2 of value out of the game. Let's see what we got. The fall is currently $10, but if you know how Steam works, Steam loves to sell you games. And that's kind of a thing that I want to talk about in this challenge a lot, is that Steam will always sell you a game. Developers will always sell you a game, right? So if you do want something and you don't want to pay full price, I'm serious, just go and follow and like the game, right? I already bought this, so I can't add it to my wish list, but if you added this to your wish list and you followed it, more than likely in the next few weeks, you will get a discount on this game. They will try to sell this to you. Right now, they're trying to sell you the bundle, and they're trying to also get you to buy this bundle, which includes these other games. Now, you may not even, maybe you want Metronomicon, but you don't want Typo Man or whatever, but they will try to sell this to you at a, reasonable price. Also the soundtrack, right? They will try to sell you the soundtrack, but if you like this game, you will get sold this game. All right. Sincerely, from bottom of my heart, thank you if you've been following along with the series. Forgive the blown up, slightly pixelated calendar, but I did want to show this off. This is the new adjusted calendar moving forward. The point of this channel is the Steam Backlog Challenge, but as you can see, we also do TCG Tuesday with the family, and then whatever we concoct like through our other, you know, shenanigans that we've got going on in the background, and of course the Backlog Challenge, we will be pushing out shorts throughout the week, Wednesdays and Fridays usually. So please, you know, subscribe and then hit the bell icon so you know when I put these out. I was sick the past week, so I didn't get this video out in time. And I was initially going to put a restriction on myself of like, if I don't do this in time, then I have to take some kind of punishment, like play a game I absolutely hate in my skip category. I thought, hey, maybe we do that, but nah, I've kind of scrapped that. I want to keep this light. This is part-time for me. I do this for fun, and what we're doing is the Backlog Challenge. So if you want to follow along, see what game's going to be next in this series, be sure to ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. And if you don't mind, drop me a comment down below on like what the status of your Steam backlog is like. How many games you got in there, man? Like what are you sitting on? Let me know. I want to know. And also talk to me about what game keeps pulling you back, you know? What's the one, like you look at your backlog and you're like, oh, look at all these fun games, but it's like, what do you call this? Analysis paralysis. Like there's just so many options that you get overwhelmed and you just, oh, you know what? I'll just go play this for the umpteenth time. What game is that for you? Let me know down in the comments. Anyway, appreciate your time. Thank you for following along again. Mucho out.